8. By faith, a wise heart chooses a healthy lifestyle and builds a healthcare team and works to balance diet and all these other things, understanding that there is God's part, there is medicine's part, and there is our part. And each one of those are important components to healing and to sleep. Once again, sometimes God gives us a wake-up call at night. Sometimes He wakes us up with an agenda to speak to our hearts. And we know that a responsive heart is one that understands that there are times which God interrupts rest in order to speak to them. A responsive heart listens and obeys the voice of God. Understanding that those teachable moments, that there are times in our lives when we are undistracted, when our minds are open. And that may be the time, just the very time, that God calls us and has a message for us. And so surrender point number 9 tells us that there are times when we can't fall to sleep or we wake up for some unknown reason, just to get up and just to listen to God and just to journal. Just to say to God, God, here I am. I'm available. I want to listen to what you have to say. And then write that down on a piece of paper. And then finally, this idea of giving God complete access in our lives. Saying, speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. That leads us to the 10th surrender point, one which understands that sometimes in our lives, a little sleep can reflect a heart of disobedience. But instead of living in denial, a surrendered heart deals with the sin that can emerge or can surface as we lay down to sleep. We studied Jonah, how sometimes sleep can be used as an escape, to escape from the realities of God and our relationship with God. Or how sometimes, like Samson, we can have a presumptive sleep, one where we somehow think that we can do what we want and still enjoy the presence and the blessings of God in our lives. Or sometimes how sleep is simply just that of laziness, of not doing the things which God has called us to do, as we saw time and time and time again in Proverbs. Or sometimes it's like the disciples. They had great intentions, but yet the spirit was willing, but their flesh was weak. They just could not, they just did not have the ability and the discipline of having the mind over the mattress.